Hello students, hope you all are keeping well. Okay, today we are going to start with chapter 6 of geography, manufacturing industries. Now manufacturing means changing the raw materials into finished goods. That is manufacturing. Alright, all the items that you get from the market, whether it is a needle, a cake of soap, detergent, shampoo, clothes, shoes, everything is coming from industries. All these are manufactured in the industries. Alright, or before that, raw materials are brought to the factories and industries and they are converted into finished goods. That is manufacturing. So manufacturing industries is the topic that we are going to do today. When we are doing this chapter, keep your textbook with you so that you can read along with me. You can go through that and I'll explain also. Then you should have a pencil in case you want to write some important meanings of words, anything. You can note it down there. You can note it down there. Then you should have your copy and pen. Because as we finish 2-3 paragraphs, then I'll give you the notes. So keep the copy and pen also with you. So keep your copy and pen also with you. We'll be doing the chapter, I'll be explaining, and along with that I'll be giving you the notes also. And please see that you maintain your copies nicely, write the notes neatly, so that later you can refer to the notes, understand things. Alright, so without wasting much time, let's start with this chapter, that is manufacturing industries. This is chapter 6. Let's start. On the occasion of Diwali, Harish went to a market with his parents. They purchased shoes and clothes for him. His mother purchased utensils, sugar, tea and diyas. Diyas are the earthen lamps. Harish observed that the shops in the market were flooded with items for sale. He wondered how so many items could be made in such large quantities. That was his surprise, that how so many items can be available in the market in large quantities for all the people to buy. His father explained that shoes, clothes, sugar, etc. are manufactured by machines in large industries. Some utensils are manufactured in small industries, while items like diyas are made by individual artisans in household industry. Alright, so many things are made in big industries, the large scale industries, some are made in the small scale industries. And diya and these type of things are made in the cottage industry. Alright, many people make it at their home, at the cooperative level they make it. And they bring it to the market to sell. So all these things are there. Production of goods in large quantities after processing from raw materials to more valuable products is called manufacturing. This is the definition of manufacturing. Production of goods in large quantities. Alright, production of goods in large quantities, in a large number, after they are processed from the raw materials. Raw materials are brought to the factories and industries, then some processes take place and finally the raw material is changed into a finished good that can be used by us, that can be of some use. This is known as manufacturing. Do you know that paper is manufactured from wood, sugar from sugarcane, iron and steel from iron ore, and aluminium from bauxite? Bauxite is the raw material for aluminium, wood raw material for paper, sugarcane raw material for sugar, like that. Do you also know that some types of clothes are manufactured from yarn, which itself is an industrial product? The thread from which the cloth is made, that thread is also made in the industries. From the fiber first thread is made. So yarn is also an industrial product. Yarn is an industrial product. From this yarn a fabric is made, that is an industrial product. From the fabric a cloth is made, maybe a trouser, a shirt, a coat, anything. So that is also an industrial product. Something which is a finished good for one industry can be a raw material for another industry. People employed in secondary activities manufacture the primary materials into finished goods. So, the raw materials are changed into finished goods by people who are working in factories. The workers employed in steel factories, car, breweries, textile industries, bakeries, etc. fall into this category. They all get raw materials, and from raw materials they are manufacturing things. So they all are doing secondary activities. Some people are employed in providing services. Alright, service sector comes the tertiary sector. The service is provided, banking, insurance, transport and all that. In this chapter, we are mainly concerned with manufacturing industries which fall in the secondary sector. So, we are basically going to do only about manufacturing industries, and manufacturing industries falls in the secondary sector. The economic strength of a country is measured by the development of manufacturing industries. How many industries does the country have? What all things are manufactured in the country? How much is manufactured? On all these things or all these factors depends the development of a country or the development of the economy of the country. A country becomes a developed and rich country only because if its economy is strong. So for that you require manufacturing industries. Let's go through the importance of manufacturing. Manufacturing sector is considered the backbone of development in general. If we want our country to develop, there should be manufacturing industries in the country. It is the backbone of development. You know, without the backbone you can't stand straight. So same thing, you require manufacturing industries and economic development, and also for the economic development of the country. So let's see what are the reasons for that. First one, manufacturing industries not only help in modernizing agriculture, which forms the backbone of our economy, they also reduce the heavy dependence of people on agricultural income by providing them jobs in secondary and tertiary sector. We know that India is called an agricultural country. Maximum people or most of the people are engaged in agricultural activities. So agriculture is the backbone of the Indian economy. Now, if we keep on following the ancient methods or the old methods, which outdated methods of agriculture and farming, then what happens? Productivity will not be good. It would not be according to the requirement, according to the standards of the market. So manufacturing industries has helped by providing equipments and things to the agriculture sector, and in this way it has helped in modernizing agriculture. Industrial development is a precondition for eradication of unemployment and poverty from our country. Industrial development is very important. If industries are there, then only people will get jobs, employment, and only that way unemployment can be removed, eradicated, removed from the country. And when unemployment is removed, automatically poverty will also be removed. So industries are very important. And in the previous point, as I was explaining, it supports the agricultural industry, and plus because of industries, many people who are engaged in agricultural activity also get jobs in secondary and tertiary sector. There are many people who are not required in the agricultural sector, but still they are there because no other job is available. So the industries or the secondary as well as the tertiary sector provide jobs to these people. This was the main philosophy behind public sector industries and joint sector ventures in India. So the Indian government, when it established industries, the public sector, that is controlled and run by the government. Joint sector means government and individuals, private individuals, they both jointly, they both have shares and they both jointly run the sector, all right, run the industry. So these type of industries were set up by the government because the government wanted people to get employment. The government wanted poverty to be removed from this country. It was also aimed at bringing down regional disparities by establishing industries in tribal and backward areas. Many parts of India are still tribal areas, backward areas. If industries are set up there, development comes in that area. So this was also done by the governments to set up industries in tribal and backward areas so that those areas develop. And the disparities, the differences that is there, the imbalance that is there is removed. Export of manufactured goods expands trade and commerce and brings in much needed foreign exchange. And the manufactured goods, when goods are manufactured, most of the goods may not be required or all the goods may not be required in the country. So what we do, we export it. We send it to those countries or sell it to those countries which don't have these things there. So in that way, what happens? The country earns foreign exchange. It is also required for a strong economy. Countries that transform their raw materials into a wide variety of finished goods of higher value are prosperous. So those countries which can change the raw material into finished goods, which fetch you more money, which get you more money, those countries become rich, those countries become prosperous. Alright. So if you sell only sugarcane, its cost may be less, but by the time you change it into sugar and process it and things are done, then you sell it in the market, you will get more money. Okay, you have to spend some money, but then according to that you can charge more. So the profit becomes more there, earning becomes more there. So those countries where the raw materials are changed into a variety of finished goods which cost higher value than the raw materials, those countries or that type of countries become prosperous countries. India's prosperity lies in increasing and diversifying its manufacturing industries as quickly as possible. So our prosperity, our development, our country's development, it depends on diversifying the manufacturing industries. Means start making different types of things, variety of things. Don't stick to some particular things only. Produce variety of things, so that lot of choices may be available for people as well as for other countries, and we can earn a lot of money. Just now we had seen that industries provide many things for agriculture. But we should also remember that agriculture sector provides a lot of raw materials for the industries. Agriculture and industry are not exclusive of each other. That is, both depend on one another. You can't remove one and concentrate on the other only. Can't be done. Both require one another. They move hand in hand, that is together, holding each other's hand. That is, they are dependent on one another. For instance, the agro industries in India have given a major boost to agriculture by raising its productivity. Agro-based industries, they get raw materials from the agriculture sector. And because the demand of raw materials is there, because of that farmers produce more. More things are produced by the farmers. So the agriculture sector is getting a boost because of that. They depend on latter for raw materials. So the agro-based industries depend on agriculture for raw materials. Agriculture depends on industries for irrigation pumps, fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, plastic and PVC pipes, machines and tools, etc. to the farmers. These are the equipments which are helping the farmers to modernize their way of cultivation or growing crops and increase the productivity. So for that they depend on industries. Thus, development and competitiveness of manufacturing industry has not only assisted agriculturists in increasing their production but also made the production process very efficient. So, developments that have taken place, the competition that is there in the market, because of this, agriculturists have increased the production, and because of all the various equipments that are available through the industries, their production methods have become very efficient. So that way, agriculture and industries benefit from one another. In the present day world of globalization, our industry needs to be more efficient and competitive. Now, the age is the age of globalization, where we are open to the world market. So, in order to compete with the world market or compete in the world market, we have to be very efficient. Production should be of good quality, which can compete with the goods in the international market. Self-sufficiency alone is not enough. Self-sufficiency, we can say, okay, we are self-sufficient, we don't have to buy from other countries, but that is not enough. We should have more than enough, so that we can sell it to the countries which don't have these things and earn foreign exchange. That is also required. Only being self-sufficient, only having for our need only, for the country's need, that is not enough. We require to have more so that we can sell to other countries and earn money. Our manufactured goods must be at par in quality with those in the international market. Very important. Our manufactured goods should be good in quality, equal in quality, or maybe better in quality than the goods which are available in the international market. Only then will we be able to compete in the international market. So, if we produce superior or good quality, better quality, best quality of thing, then only we will be able to compete in the international market. If we take inferior things, no one will buy, no one will want our things. Then how we will earn foreign exchange? The other countries may not want to buy our things because the quality is not good. So it is very important that whatever goods are produced by the industries in our country should be at par or equivalent to the quality or the standards maintained in the international market. That is very important. I hope you have understood till here. Now we'll write the notes. In your copies, Chapter 6, Manufacturing Industries. First heading you write manufacturing. I'll give you the definition of that. Manufacturing. Production of goods. Production of goods in large quantities. Production of goods in large quantities after processing from raw materials, to more valuable products, is called manufacturing. Production of goods in large quantities after processing from raw materials to more valuable products is called manufacturing. Full stop. After that you write, it is the processing of raw materials or parts into finished goods through the use of tools, human labor, machinery and chemical processing. Come to the next topic. Importance of manufacturing. Start from the next line. The economic strength of a country is measured by the development of manufacturing industries. Full stop. They are considered the backbone of development, particularly economic development. Full stop. This is so due to the following reasons. Now you'll write in points. First point. Manufacturing industries help in modernizing agriculture. Full stop. Second point. They help in reducing heavy dependence on agriculture by providing jobs in secondary and tertiary sectors. Full stop. Third point. They help in the eradication, they help in the eradication of unemployment and poverty. Full stop. Fourth point. Establishing industries in tribal and backward areas remove regional disparities. Disparities means the differences or the imbalance. Regional disparities. Full stop. Fifth point. Export of manufactured goods. Export of manufactured goods expands trade and commerce and brings in much needed foreign exchange. Full stop. Sixth point. It helps in increasing it helps in increasing the prosperity of a country, by giving a boost to the economy. Full stop. Now in the next line you write, this is not a point but an important line, you write it. The prosperity of India lies in increasing and diversifying, I told you, producing a lot of different variety of goods. Alright, increasing the range of products. So the prosperity of India lies in increasing and diversifying its manufacturing industries. So what we have understood today, that manufacturing industries are very important for the development of the country, for our development, for the prosperity of the country, for our prosperity. Alright, that is what we have learned today, and we'll continue in the next class. We'll start with the relation between agriculture and industry. We'll start with the notes and then we'll move further. So we'll stop for today. Keep studying and take care.